What is giver's gain? Giver's gain is more than just words. And as all of you know, giver's gain is one of the values that Ivan Misner started BNI on. The whole concept was he wanted to start a group where he felt that there was people that he trusted. Now, he only had to trust them to do one thing. What's the one thing I must trust someone to do before I can give them a referral? Those are all the things that go into the one thing. And the one thing is, I must trust that the people that are around the table with me will make me look good. That when I refer them, people will thank me for the referral. That when they step in to do the work or not do the work, they're doing the right thing. So that was his whole idea behind it. And he knew that if he could get the right people in the room and give referrals to them, they would do the same thing for him. And as you can see, a lot of people around the globe believe the exact same thing. BNI has grown like crazy with the slogan of giver's gain, with our core value being giver's gain. So what does giver's gain mean to you? And when you're sitting in your BNI chapter, it's something for you to think about. What does it mean to you? Because I've noticed that it goes far beyond our BNI chapters. It goes far beyond the business. The other thing I have noticed is that on occasion I meet people who use giver's gain like a weapon. And they beat people up with it going, you're not giving enough, and you're not giving enough, and you're not giving enough. I've given you 7 referrals. You haven't done anything for me. What's in it for me today? That's not giver's gain. That's keeping score. What does giver's gain really mean? And it's kind of the thing you read about. And in the Bible it says, care more about your neighbor than to care about yourself. Care first about your neighbors before caring for yourself. Feed the hungry before eating. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It's an age-old principle. And how does it show up in our chapters? How does it show up in Indiana? I've noticed that it shows up when someone's house burned down. The chapter came together to rebuild the house, to put them back to whole. The whole chapter stood behind them. I noticed that when another person's child is sick and their child is born unhealthy, the whole chapter comes together. And they take care of that family and they feed that family. I've noticed that at Christmas and at Thanksgiving, we have chapters that adopt local families and feed them and make sure they have a Christmas or Thanksgiving. I've noticed that it goes far beyond the boundaries of our chapters. Dr. Misner and Beth Misner started a foundation. It's the BNI Foundation, because they believe that if we give to the world will give back. And the foundation goes out into the world and it starts schools. It builds schools. It gives supplies to schools. In Indiana, several schools have gotten grants from the BNI Foundation because it's about teaching and it's about helping other people pull themselves up and achieve great things in small ways. And I've noticed in Giver's Gain, with the whole Giver's Gain thing, it's not about big giving. It's those small things that we do every single day that is giving. And we don't think about it and we don't keep score. And the women are especially that way. The women you saw up here that are on the committee, they gave their time to make sure you guys would have a good time, that it would be orderly. They gave back to the organization. For the leadership teams that stand up in the chapters, they give their time back to the chapter. That's their giving to the chapter. For our director team, they're giving to the entire region. They don't do it because they're making a lot of money. Yes, they get to expand their networks, but they really have a passion for helping you. And it's all that small giving that makes a difference, not only in our businesses, but it makes a difference in our lives. I belong to a little organization, actually it's a global organization. It's online and it's called Kiva, K-I-V-A. And with Kiva, I initially put in $100. And that $100, I get to read profiles of people all over the world who are trying to raise money to start micro businesses. People in Vietnam and India and poor parts of the United States where they're starting a little business, but they need funding. And all they need is to reach a certain goal. And so I will pick 2 or 3 of those, and I just give them $25 or $50 to help them meet their goal to start their business. And in return, what they commit to is they will pay that money back. Sometimes it's only 50 cents. 50 cents a month or $1 a month. But I've noticed that money keeps growing. I put it out there. Their business is growing. I just, invested in a lady who just needed to buy some fencing to keep her cows in because she provides the village with milk. That's her business. And she needed to do fencing, so people were giving money, $25 at a time, to help her build a fence. It's a little thing, but it makes a big difference in someone else's life. Yesterday I read that there's a lady in Indianapolis who's starting purses for homeless women. Indianapolis Purses for Women. And what they're doing is collecting 500 handbags for ladies, 500 handbags. They're filling those handbags with all kinds of things that a woman might need, and especially if she's homeless. And they're giving those out. It's just a little thing, but it makes a big difference in other people's lives. So what does it mean to you when you think about giver's gain? Where are the places that you give? And I find that BNI members all over the world, no matter where I go in the world and no matter where I speak, I find that everybody practices this in such a big way. Everybody. Every chapter. It's in the DNA of BNI. Giver's gain is in the DNA of BNI. And we make a difference in the world. Our vision is to change the way the world does business. To change the way the world does business. And we do that by giving without the expectation of receiving. Because we don't know when the receiving will come back to us. So ask yourself as you go back into your chapters, ask your members, what does giver's gain mean to you? What does it mean to you? And how is it showing up in your life and in your business? I feel that I gain from this organization. I have gained from this organization in a way that I never dreamed possible. For a small town girl to travel the globe and speak to large audiences and teach people giver's gain is something I never ever would have dreamed of. But if it wasn't for this organization, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. And I hear that story from so many members around the world. If it wasn't for BNI, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. I would be homeless. I know one lady who told me the story of she sold all of her furniture to pay for her membership in BNI. And today she runs 3 highly successful businesses in Sydney. But first she sold all of her furniture. And when people hear her story, they want to help her. So the point is, are you telling the stories of how you've won through the giver's gain process? Are you telling people what you've gotten as a result of your participation with your fellow members? Not as a result of the organization, but as a result of your participation with your members. What's your story? What does giver's gain mean to you? Thank you very much.